Our next guest, Robyn Mays. She's qualified for the Olympia in Las Vegas, and she never competes in a competition just to compete. She competes to win. Ladies and gentlemen. Hello, athletes and fans of bodybuilding. I'm Lenda Murray, 8 times Ms. Olympia, and you're watching Olympia TV. Joining me, my co-host, Wendy Fortino, IFBB Figure Pro.
Hello, hello.
Yes, hello. And we have an amazing show today, guys. Stick around, because our guest for the evening, IFBB Women's Physique Pro, Robyn Mays.
Woo!
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Well, thank you for joining us.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. I'm so really, let me tell you, I'm so excited about I love every time when we have a guest and then we get to do the research on you. And I've known you for some time, Robyn. We had a long conversation when you competed in the first Olympia Masters in Romania, and you're fresh off of the Olympia Masters. You just came back from Japan.
Yes.
So let me say this to the audience. If you don't know Robyn Mays, I know Robyn Mays, and so I look at the list of qualified athletes each week. And I remember going down the list of the women's physique competitors, and I saw your name, Robyn. And I said, OMG. First of all, I mean, and here's the thing, guys, you all know the women's physique division is fierce.
Yeah,
it's always stacked. So there was no question in my mind when I saw your name. I knew that you had competition.
Oh yeah.
It's not like sometimes with women's bodybuilding in my show, I had only 3 women bodybuilders competing, right? But in women's physique, it's always, we're looking at 15 or more competitors qualifying to go to the Olympia.
Yep.
So what I'm going to say this to start this off, there's so much about your story and your resume that's very impressive. First of all, you attack the shows. You have been looking at your competition history. You competed in Tampa, in Omaha, in New York, twice at the Olympia Masters. It's just, you're afraid not. You're afraid not. And you're 59 years of age.
Yeah.
You're afraid not. So let's just start right there, because that to me is very impressive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not, I mean, you're not, even after you qualified winning the Toronto Pro, you still like follow through. You're invited to go to the Olympia Masters and you do it. So just tell us about your mindset, because a lot of athletes, they pick and they choose the competitions that they can compete in that, strategically. And and they also, a lot of us are masters, but sometimes an athlete will only compete in open and they're afraid to compete in masters, but not you. Most of your shows, you do that every time. So let's talk about your strategy.
Well, honestly, I think some of the master shows, especially because some of these women have been doing this for, 15 plus years. So they have the experience, they have the muscle maturity, and they have a different mindset. So I really believe like a lot of the masters, that's who's the tougher competition. So it's true. I think the women over 40, it's tough. And if you've seen, the numbers have been going up like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the Tokyo show, there was 23 masters.
Wow.
And that was more than the other two shows that were here that same weekend. I mean, it was just like, wow. And none of them, I mean, I still think, well, I don't think, I know I was still the oldest one there. I'm like, damn, I do a master show and I'm still the oldest one. I'm like, damn. But I mean, I've never let age determine what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. So,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I
And I
feel
like
like
the competition. You know, I'd rather go to a show that has quality competitors than to go to a show that has, 5 or 6. And so,
absolutely. Yeah. I feel like in the divisions that have more muscle maturity, you starting with figure, I would say wellness, but I feel like, wellness does require a lot of muscle maturity, but you do see a lot of younger athletes kind of thriving in that division. Once you get to figure, women's physique, women's bodybuilding, it's like it takes a certain amount of time. You can't fast pace it. You can't do something in like a short period of time to achieve that level of muscle density, muscle maturity. And so I do feel like, the women that are thriving are, over 40, which is exactly why, you went to Tokyo and there were the fiercest competitors in that division are going to Tokyo in the women's physique division. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. So there were 23 women
Yeah.
in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest shows.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the biggest shows in Japan. You're saying number-wise?
No, I'm thinking for the women's physique.
For women's physique, it was one of the tougher shows. Yeah, because you won Toronto, and then you took ninth at Masters Olympia, which is a testament to how tough of a show it was.
It was, definitely.
You're at your best. So, yeah.
Oh no, my best is coming.
Oh, here we go.
6 weeks, you're gonna see the best. Yeah.
Oh, I believe that.
Oh, yeah.
I believe that.
I set my mind to it.
Lenda, we got a comment for Lenda. Lenda, what do you do in the Masters?
Oh,
I know.
hilarious. hey, listen, who said that? Granddaddy of them all. Let me tell you. You're the granddaddy of them all. I love that name. This is perfect for this topic. Let me tell you, when I go to shows, the last 5 years, and when I sit and I watch the Masters divisions across the board, and there's a woman that can step on stage in Masters, in any of these divisions, turn to the rear under bright lights with a bikini bottom on.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm so impressed because after a certain point of life, for me, I retired before I turned 45.
Yeah.
But I've had all that time to not strategically, maintain, because you have to maintain your rear end. You can't go a long period of time and like put some extra body fat on, because now you're going to have a lot of extra stuff going on. You can't miss your weight training. You have to be on point for all of those years. And let me tell you, granddaddy of them all, Miss Lenda Murray has not been consistent like that. So she cannot. It started early in the 40s. I could not. So that's why I'm so impressed, because as a woman, I know how tough that is.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's tough. It's
well,
tough.
Miss Robyn has been at this for 13 years, I just discovered, and she started in bikini, right? So that is crazy to me. So tell us about your journey, because this is what a lot of people want to know. They see you where you're at, and they wonder where did she start? When did she start? Just go right into it.
I actually started for health reasons. I had quit smoking, which is a good thing, but I had gained a lot of weight. So I was like 214 pounds, and it wasn't muscle. I hadn't lift weights. I didn't start lifting weights until I was 46 years old.
Really?
Yeah, had never picked up a weight in my life.
Are
And
you serious?
so
Wow.
wanted to lose the weight. I did a bunch of cardio. Of course, you lose weight, but then everything started going south, and I was like, oh no. So
Yeah.
that's when I picked up the weights, and I started with. I love leg training, and that's what I started with. I used to do legs maybe 3 times a
Yeah.
week. Didn't do upper body, couldn't do a push-up or pull-up to save my life. But I had the strongest legs. Yeah, that was a picture. Did you see that? Yeah. That's
Wow.
214 pounds. Yeah. I don't even
Wow.
look the same. And
Wow.
that's this year. So yeah.
Wow. So 214 pounds. That's
Mhm.
where you decided to make a change in your life.
Yeah, I had high cholesterol, high blood pressure. I was pre-diabetic, and it was all from weight, So I said, all right, to be 46 years old and you have to go to this pharmacy and pick up 3 medications. I'm like, no, there's got to be a better way. And that's when I just started with cardio, and then eventually moved on to weights. And as the weight came off, they were like, okay, cholesterol's fine. And then then the blood pressure. Blood pressure is a hereditary thing, so there's not much I can do about that. But the cholesterol and the pre-diabetes, all that went away. So I'm like my
Okay.
doctor's favorite patient.
Yeah. Yeah, because I read somewhere where you and your husband, you were known as the fast food king and queen.
Oh yeah, yeah. So we live where I live. It's a street. Linda, you've probably been on the street, Shrewsbury Street.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
you know how all the restaurants, I live right off the street. So
Okay.
it's called Restaurant Row. So any type of restaurant you want is there. Italian, Indian, Brazilian, everything.
Oh,
And
man.
yeah, I didn't cook for, oh my God, for like years. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Wow.
Fast food. Yeah.
So, okay, I'm gonna pull this up. This is I found you when you first started. You were in the WNB,
WNBF.
right? Okay. And so at what point in your journey did you decide I'm gonna step on that stage? Like what was it? Did somebody in your gym tell you you should try it, or how did that come to be? Look at her, Robyn, look at her.
My little self. Look how tiny I was. My God.
Yeah.
Always look so young.
Do you guys remember that Oxygen magazine?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So I used to get that. And I'm looking through it, and my son goes, you can't do that. And it was on from there. It was on from there. I said, oh, really? Okay.
You just needed the challenge.
That's all I needed.
Somebody that matters to you. Your son telling you that, and that triggered you.
And then after I did my first show, I was hooked.
Yeah. That's
You
awesome.
were hooked. So what hooked you? What hooked you, do you think?
For some reason, they said, they were like, you're a natural on the stage. I said, am I? They were like, oh, yeah. It was like you were born to be there. And I was like, oh, okay. And then, the glam, getting the hair done, nails done, all that. I was like, oh, this is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. My girlfriend, Nancy, what she said to me, because she told me that you started out in bikini and then you moved from bikini to women's physique. And she said that you just really had that swag, that you mastered that bikini walk. So like she just said, you had that flow.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, I actually just love like wearing heels. Like some of these girls couldn't wear heels. I'm like, what do you mean you can't wear heels? I've been wearing heels since I was 10. Like, put the heels on. Let's go.
Oh, nice. Yeah, because heels, that can be scary. Heels are scary. Because I see a lot of the girls, they're definitely, they fit into the bikini division, or they fit into figure, one of the heels divisions, but they just haven't mastered that walk.
Yeah. And that can make or break a competitor. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I agree with that.
Since you're such a natural, I mean, did you do any sports when you're younger? I mean, there has to be some athletic prowess.
Gymnastics from the age of like 7 to about 12.
Okay.
And then I just got too tall. Like I grew like 5 inches over a summer.
How tall are you?
Like, I'm 5'7" now.
Okay.
Well, I've been 5'7" since I was 12 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
did like this growth spurt and then it stopped.
Yeah. I got to 5 feet tall by the time I was 10 or 11. And then I stopped too.
Yeah. I'm like,
at 5 feet tall, I thought I had more in me, but guess not.
Yeah, gymnasts, they require you to be really short. There's some successful taller.
Well, there are now, but back then, no.
Then, no.
It just gets harder to move. It gets harder to flip around and do all the things. The taller you are, it's hard to just get yourself around. Even when you're in air, when there's just longer limbs and stuff, it just gets a little bit trickier. But so that's in you, your athleticism, and
ran track in high school. So
see, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. So then I guess you didn't have any problem going from bikini and heels to going into women's physique, where you have to do a presentation of a posing routine.
No, I love that because I was like, well, that's the reason why. Because Nancy said, well, try figure. And I tried figure and I'm like, this is just not enough for me to do. I got to do more than this. And she was like, all right, let's do fit body. Now, fit body is women's physique, but you wear heels. So just imagine doing these poses with heels on.
Yeah, I've seen that with heels and like biceps and stuff.
Really?
Yeah. So the poses are almost identical to women's physique. There's a couple that are a little bit different. Like the side chest is a little different. I think that's really the only one. But the front double bi, back double bi, same thing. You just have heels on.
It looks tricky. It looks like it would be difficult to maneuver around that. I want to go deep with you really fast because we do have a couple questions that I want to address these questions.
A lot of questions. You have a lot of questions.
So we have this question, and before you answer, I want to tack on one extra little thing. This question is, what was the journey like going from bikini to physique? And then we have another question similar. How do you stay motivated and focused throughout the years? And here's my thing that I want to tack on to those two questions before you answer is, I would imagine that for you, you're at a position where, at 59 years young, you're not just going through this journey, but you are in a very unique spot to really truly motivate women in a way that, someone coming into the industry at 30 years old you just cannot do it. And I want to know, like, when women ask you these questions and they really want to know, like, Robyn, how do you get here? What was your journey like there? Because they want to relate to this. They're like, I can't relate, but now I find somebody that I can, okay, she's done it and she's actually maybe even older than me. What the heck, right? Does that sync with you? Do you feel the impact of how much gravity these questions have and what role you play in your journey of going through this
I think this year more than any year, it's kind of hit me like that. Before I was kind of like, well, I'm just doing my thing and it's not a big deal. But this year, my training, everything was a little bit different. I've always been focused, but for some reason, I think I'll just say it. One of the things was, this was the year I said I was going to retire. I was going to do 2 shows and then that was going to be it.
Well, that's not happening. It's like you're just getting started. Wow. Yeah.
So but my body just like, we goes through changes and stuff, and my body just like reacted so well. Yeah. I mean, my first show, I was ready 2 weeks before the show. Easy.
Nice.
And supposed to write in. I'm like, this is the easiest prep. But I will say, I know why. I took my off season more serious than I took my prep this year.
Yeah.
My off season was you know, okay, it's cold. Because up here, we're in Boston.
Yeah.
Weather gets, I mean, it gets cold. It gets dark at 5 o'clock in the winter. No
Yeah.
excuses. I was like, no excuses. I
Nice.
stayed with my fasted cardio all year round. I mean, not as much, but I still did it. I made sure I was in that gym at least 5 days a week. Whereas in other years, you'd be lucky in the wintertime, maybe 3 times. Because I'll be like,
Okay.
oh, I just got out of work. Because I work a full-time job. A lot of people don't realize that either. So I'd get out of work and I'm like, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. It's off season. I got until spring. That was my attitude. But this year it was completely different. I was like, nope.
Yeah.
You're gonna treat it like you got a show in 6 weeks. And that's how I stayed on track. And I've had, you know, a lot of women who have been reaching out lately saying, you know, wow, you really inspired me. I didn't think, you know, I thought at a certain age, and I tell them, I'm like, well, I didn't get started until I was in my late 40s. So,
Wow.
you know, it can be done. It's a little bit harder, but I think it can be done.
Yeah.
Well,
You have to take a smart approach like you have.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so this is your first Olympia qualification.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
This is the dream.
So,
and the funny thing is, I always said, if I make it to the Olympia, I don't care if I'm dead last.
but now you
Now
do.
you
She's
guys
like,
know.
God, no. Nope, she's not gonna. No way. She fears not, right, Lenda?
No way. I'm gonna fight tooth and nail to at least honestly, I would be happy with top 10.
Nice.
But
yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, well, you made the top 10 at the in Japan.
Yeah.
You definitely did.
Yeah, I'm gonna come in better than that because I got
nice.
You know, we got a better strategy. I know the areas I needed to work on. So that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, I saw a couple of things you just mentioned. First of all, your coach, you said, do you still have the same coach?
Yes.
And who's your coach?
I actually have 2 coaches right now.
You have 2 coaches.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. So,
look at these right now.
Talk about what you did different in your off season. You qualified for the Olympia, and I mean, my first thought, I mean, just looking at if you look at your competition history, it was clear to me that I want to say, like, your mindset. How much do you feel like your mindset played a role? And it's almost also like you're not worldly, all out in and I'm sure your maturity, you're not all out into how many followers and constantly posting. And it's just like, what I see is when I see you at a show, you show up fierce and you go in to win. Not a lot of talk. You just handle business.
And that's how I approach it. I mean, you know, a lot of people tell me you should post more. You could get more followers, and I'm like, okay, what do the followers have to do with my physique? I mean, there are some people that really think that influences the judges. I'm like, okay, maybe it does. I don't know. I said, but that's not going to be my thing. I want to win based off the physique I have, and how I present it, because you both know you can have the best physique in the world. If you can't present it, it doesn't matter.
Right. I will say this, though. I'm just going to say this, okay? This has nothing to do with your placing or how you do on stage. But I would say you being like really active on social media would only benefit everybody because you are so motivating and inspiring. And this is beyond the stage. I mean, you're winning at life. You know, you're not this isn't about with you. It's not just about like how you do at the Olympia or how you do in the show. It's like more people want to know from you than they want to know from, the new 25-year-old who's just started an Instagram account going viral. Like, you're the one with the knowledge and the wisdom and the wherewithal to really, and with that, this is what I want to know. Everybody thinks, you're here, you're smiling, you're on top of the world, and we feel like, you know, there's this like linear path where, you know, all of a sudden Robyn Mays is just amazing. But that does not come without its struggles and adversity. And I'm sure that you have experienced a lot of that. So open up to us if you're comfortable with what have been your greatest struggles over the course of since you started in your 40s and now you're here. Like, open up to us about what you've struggled with, because I'm sure people can relate to that.
I think like just finding like a balance. And when I say balance, you know, you hear people say, oh, there really is like, you have to balance of what you want out of this.
Yeah.
Because there are people who just want to get on stage. They don't care if they, you know, place or not. And I'm just not that person. I am very competitive. Anything I do, I want to be, you know, do really well at it. My goal is to win. I mean, and I'm realistic. I mean, I know there are certain shows I went to where I knew, girl, you ain't winning this. But you know what? Something I always tell my clients, and something I've told my son, and I'll tell my grandchildren: if you want something bad enough, you make them take it. Don't give it to them. Make them take it. And that's how I
love it. Love
like,
it.
they got to take it from me because I ain't giving it to them. So
Yeah.
Because you did say something about your granddaughter.
yeah.
Your thoughts going into Japan. I'd have to go and find that. But you said something. You had her in mind.
Oh yeah. I want her to know, like, well, my granddaughter and my grandsons, I want them to know that there's basically, I mean, there are some things, you know, that are impossible. Let's be real. There are. But there's a lot where we tend to discredit what we're capable of sometimes, just based on, you know, what society says, or, you know, you're supposed to be in a certain role. Like, for instance, being a woman, being a bodybuilder. Society still does not fully accept that. We know that. You know, I get the comments, "Oh, you look like a man." I'm like, okay, you know, but I always have to back, come back from that. You know, like when I get someone to say, "Oh," I had one lady tell me, "Well, you look like a man." I said, "Well, your husband didn't think so."
Right, because he's looking. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
You know, because it's like, I guess, you know, that's a maturity thing too. I don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, really, if you don't pay my mortgage, so do you think I really care?
Or or the backhanded compliments. I opened up about this to when we were on a panel with Lenda and Camille and Whitney. The backhanded compliments, where, you know, women will be like, you know, I just want you to know that I think that you look beautiful, but like my husband would never want me to look like that.
Yeah.
And you're like, thanks. Wow, that's great.
Exactly. It's like,
that's what you get. That's why it is courageous, and we are trailblazers when we're willing to do what we feel is going to make us happy in the face of like all these judgment, all these people, they have all these opinions, and we continue on this path because we think we're going off of what we believe is true beauty. And then women start to follow your footsteps because it is beautiful. And they're like, you know what? She actually is beautiful. I do really want to look like that. Wait a minute. I
think a lot of women do, and they just they don't realize. First of all, you don't put on this muscle. You seen what the pictures, what I started looking like. I was a little twig. So you don't put the muscle on right away. It takes years of training and consistency, and it's, you know, it's a matter of how much muscle you want to put on. It's not, you know, you lift one weight and all of a sudden you're going to turn into she-woman. I'm like,
I know. Hilarious.
Right.
It's hilarious.
But what I tell people, especially those women who, like you said, the backhanded compliments, like, oh, it looks good on you, but I don't think that's for me. And I'm like, okay. When you're 80 years old and you fall down and break that hip, you're going to wish you had some muscle.
Yes.
Like, you know, you got to think of stuff like that. Like, you know, the longevity of your life. And one of the things, because I'm like a big nerd when it comes to stuff like this. So any type of disease you get, the first thing disease attacks is muscle.
Yeah.
because it can't get to the organs until it gets to the muscles.
Yep.
So attack the muscle first. The more muscle you have,
Wow.
I'm not going to say you can fight it, but it gives you a
Sure.
better chance. You have a better chance.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well
Absolutely.
put.
That
Well
that
put.
absolutely does happen. Yeah, we our bodies are there. We secure this health, and then our bodies utilize whatever it needs to in order to overcome disease and ailments. And the stronger you are, the stronger your bones are, the more muscle you have, the more equipped you are to handle whatever comes your way. And we see this a lot with people in our industry, or people who are healthy, maybe not in our industry. They get cancer, they get some type of illness, and they come out of it the other side, say, you know what, my health and my strength is what got me through that. Going into this with the muscle and the bone density that I had is the reason why I'm still here.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
I'm still with you on that. I know.
Yeah.
True.
So when you're being the fact that you've been in all the big shows.
Yeah.
You competed in Pittsburgh and New York, and do you look at the list? Yeah. Chicago, Tampa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where else have I been? Louisiana, Toronto twice. I can't think of anywhere else. Yeah, I did.
Picture turned sideways.
Yeah. Oh.
You see, yeah,
I don't know what happened.
Turn sideways. Yeah. Just have to turn the. Yeah. So yeah, your history just.
How did that?
I'm like blown away. Truly.
Yeah. We have here we have your Toronto right here. This was your winning look right here. Wow. You know what? You have such a beautiful frame. Just such a beautiful structure.
Yeah, we lost her for a second, but yeah, that's what I'm looking at here. Amazing for someone that just started weight training.
Oh man.
In their 40s. And she said early 40s?
I think she said late 40s, yeah.
That's right, 46, 47. Looking at her shoulder development, small waist, a flare on her quads. And women's physique, one of the hardest. I mean, in Tokyo, she competed against Nana Silva. She won Japan. Yes, Susan Graham, Tracy Gill, Heather Grace.
Yep. Yeah, Heather Grace has been a big name for a while. Heather Grace, she was consistently placing the top 3, I believe, at the Olympia, and then I think she took some time away, and she's coming back strong. So I mean, this is a strong lineup. Yeah,
and Heather, she was one of the first.
Yes.
And she really established that women's physique.
And you know what? That's what we want to see at the Masters Olympia, right? I mean, when you go into the Masters Olympia lineup, we want to see those athletes, those superstar A-lister names who maybe took some time away. They were really big names in the Olympia when they were, competing full force, and they come back. I mean, how awesome would it be to see like Kai Green and Victor Martinez and
right?
You know what I mean? That's what we want to see in the Masters Olympia. We want to see these big names come back and fight for it at that.
Yeah, she placed ahead of Caroline Elvis dos Santos.
Oh yeah,
that's a big name.
Yeah. Hopefully she comes back.
Ann Gruber. I know that name, and Anna Herreris competed in Tokyo, so that's really impressive. Like for me, knowing how deep that women's physique division is, and seeing the tenacity in which she approaches the event, she's back now.
Here we go. She's back.
What happened?
That's okay. It happens. It's live. That's what makes it. It's live. That's what makes it fun.
Yeah. We were just talking about you. Hope you don't mind.
So yeah, you turned pro in 2016.
Yes.
2016, yeah. And you won the universe, right?
Yes. Yeah. So that was that was one day before I turned 50.
Wow.
Man.
Wow. So
they wouldn't
I
let
wanna-
me do the 50 because I wasn't 50 the day of the show.
Mhm.
So
okay.
yeah, so
Yeah, because I do see you competed in what, 2? I think
But
in
you're
the
okay.
universe you did both. You did another, you did a
I did
master's.
3. I did
You did
the
3.
open, the 45, I think it was, and the 40. Yeah.
Over 40 and over 45. Well, you did two masters divisions and you
Yeah.
did open.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now see that right there, guys, that tells you a lot because, you know, and people are always like, oh, we have all these pros, we have, you know, a million pros. And, you know, I'll see athletes that they said, I'm going to compete at the Masters universe. And that's all they'll compete in.
Yeah.
They won't compete in open.
Yeah, it's true.
So that right there, listen to me, audience, that right there is huge.
Well, Robyn
looks myself.
She looks like she could pass for 35. So if she didn't compete in Masters, no, but I'm serious. And if you didn't compete in Masters, people might question, like, is she over 40? Is she not? And like for a lot of women who look younger, that is a battle. You know, it's a battle that we face.
Right.
As women, we don't want people to know our age, right?
Yeah.
And so what would
That's a good point, Wendy. That's really, there's so many things that we're unwrapping when it comes to Masters and why some of the women will not compete in Masters because they don't want people to know their age, and for some reason, you know.
I'm speaking to a lot of women when I say that. I know I am. What would you say to women who feel that way, Robyn? Because you embrace your journey and all of its, you know, with everything it has.
It's a blessing to be able to be, especially in this day and age, to make it past 55, you know, and to look good and still have your health. I'm like, why not embrace that? It's society. We've had enough of the like age shaming.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you look good, should it really matter how old you are? You know what I mean? I mean, I know there's some 30-year-olds, and I'd be like, girl,
no, it's true.
Get you some Botox or something.
Right, yeah.
You know, it's just like because you know whatever was going on in their life or whatever. But I mean, if you make, I mean, and it's not just being vain. Like I said, it's a health thing too. But yeah, I think like last year, well, the last Masters, there weren't that many. And I think the reason why there's so many now, because I've seen a lot of women who I never thought they would do a Masters show. And and if you notice, the numbers for the Masters shows, they're creeping up there.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. You know, and I don't know if that has to do with because now we have a Masters Olympia, or if they say it's okay to do that. You're not gonna get penalized if you do a Masters show. You can still do both.
And we're seeing that also in bikini and the divisions where bikini fit model, because when we do on the NPC level, what I'm seeing that we always have a lot more women in bikini over 35, and then we had to increase the classes. Then we'd have women bikini over 35, class A, class B, class C. Then the next we'd have over 40, then over 45. And as a promoter, we try to forecast what we think we will have, because people think that when they receive those trophies, those little inscription plates, like that inscription plate comes on the trophy or on the medal, but it does not. We order those separately, and we try to forecast what we will have. And then what happens, we always knew that in Bikini Open, we would have Bikini Open, we have class A, we have first through fifth, and then a B and a C, a D, a E, and an F. And then what we started to find, we have less of the bikini open, and we have more of bikini over 35, over 40, over 45, over 50, over 55. So, and that's happening in all the divisions.
Yeah.
But mostly, like, you'll see that in the bikini, bikini, fit model, in figure, and we're starting to see that more in women's physique. And like Wendy said, it's a lot, even though you have to already have that muscle. You can't just jump into a women's bodybuilding competition. But what you did is really amazing. The fact that you didn't start weight training until you were 46, in your mid 40s, and you have such success that you're going to be on the largest bodybuilding stage in the world.
Say that. She's lighting up. I could just see it.
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, genetics plays a big part of it too. But, you know, I've had some, well, you just have that because genetics. I'm like, yeah, I had the same genetics when I was 214 pounds.
Right. That's the thing.
I remember that.
Yep.
Those genetics can work against you too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it just takes a lot of consistency. You know, people's like, oh, what motivates you? I'm like, I don't have motivation.
Yeah.
If I relied on motivation, I wouldn't be where I'm at.
Right.
It's discipline.
Yeah,
it really is. It's just discipline.
This physique takes like hard work and dedication because, you know, there's so many things out there, you know, this, dare I say, the Ozempic train and all that kind of stuff. And what happens is people, they lose weight with these, you know, exogenous things, and then their skin is just falling off their bodies, and that doesn't have a beautiful look to it. It's like, yeah, you lost the weight, but now it looks like everything's just kind of hanging.
Yeah.
But, you know, and it's unfortunate because, you know, to create that beautiful full physique like what you have, there has to be, you know, the hard work and the dedication and the day in and the day out, you know, and then bodybuilding does really cater to the people that have better genetics. Everybody can get in shape, everyone can look phenomenal, but, you know, then the cream rises to the top. You are the cream that rises to the top. You got in shape, and you also happen to have this incredible structure and flow to your body and nice lines that go along with creating the physique you've created and the, you know, hard work and dedication. And so then here we are, you know, Robyn Mays going to the Olympia at 59, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's like a dream. Like honestly, so in Toronto, when they announced it, and I was like almost in tears, I did everything I could not to cry. I went backstage and I'm like, did I just freaking win?
Yeah.
I'm like, I just freaking won. I'm like, and then my husband comes up and he had tears in his eyes. And I'm like, why are you crying? He's like, because I know how hard you work. He said, I watch you get up. That alarm goes off 3:45. And I don't have to be at work until 8. And he goes, and I watch the dedication that you put into it. And he says, and to see it come to light, he goes, this is just, he goes, I'm just overwhelmed. And it didn't really, you know, there's still some days where I'll look at the picture and I'm like, I'm going to the Olympia.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to the Olympia with
like,
women from Spain, Brazil, Canada, France, Russia, Austria, Finland. We have 19 women right now qualified to be on the Olympia stage.
Yeah.
And you've done it, you know. Look at that.
It's amazing.
You look. Do you, when you look at your physique, and you know what kind of a journey you went through to get here, I mean, what's going through your mind? Like, are you just like, are you having this out of body experience when you look at that? Because I can imagine.
I'm very critical of myself. So I look at the pictures and I can fix that. That can be.
She's a champion.
Yeah. You know, it's like, you know what you need to do. This can be better.
Yeah.
You know, I've coached myself for a long time, you know, and then you get to a point where you have to have another coach. You have to have a second set of eyes. But I always say, and I say this to my competitors, nobody knows your body like you do. And you have to learn your body because, you know, as women, our bodies change. And especially you get to a certain age. So, you know, I've had some women, oh, I can't lose weight because I go through menopause. And I'm like, I didn't do that. I'm like, come on now.
Right.
I'm like, come on now. You got to come up with a better one. Just say you want to eat those
You
chips.
can't get that. Doesn't fly with me. I'm
Exactly.
sorry.
Like, it's not going to fly with me. You know, I get it all. You know, oh, I work. I'm like, oh. And I have a magic person that pays my bills. Like, you know, it's just like, and
Yeah.
you know, but you just get to a point where you just say, okay, this is, you have to be real with yourself. And I look at my pictures and I'm not like super critical where I like put myself down or anything like that, but I just know I'm like, okay, even with the posing, because that's one of the things we're going to work on is posing to make me look bigger. Sandy said this to me one time, a show I had did in San Jose, and she's like, when I looked at your name when you were on stage, she goes, that can't be her. She said, you look so much bigger on stage.
Wow.
And I was like, okay. So yeah, and I kind of got away from that, you know. So now I know sometimes you have to bring back what worked. And that's what I got to do. I know what I got to do. It's not a matter of, I'm not going to put on those super crazy size in 6 weeks. So I got to make it look like I did.
Yeah. Because you've got Sarah Villegas, our reigning champion, and Natalia Coelho, and some heavy hitters there. So
we're let's touch on that. But I don't know if you ladies know the answer to this question. Someone asked, Lenda, maybe you know the answer to this. As an NPC Masters competitor, can you qualify to compete at pro qualifying show for both open and master class at the same show? I mean, like, can you compete? I guess that like North Americans, I guess they have masters and open.
Well, that's what she did. She did that.
That's
basically
right.
She's a master of doing that because even when she turned pro,
a master of doing that.
Yeah, you really are. I mean, that's what I see when I look at your history, and then I would see that the name of that show up 3 times, Tampa Pro first, Tampa Pro. You know, then I'm like, oh, okay, she competed in Masters, you know, twice, and over 35, over 40, over 45, and she did open, and she, you know,
Yeah, I've done, I think it was the Fort Lauderdale show I did, the Atlantic Coast. And I said, I'll never do that again. I did the 40, the 40, the 50, the 55, and the open. And they went back to back to back. I was like, oh my God, so tired.
Your full routine? You do your full routine every time?
Well, not the routine part of it, but you're being compared.
Right. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. And then that show, I almost made it to the Olympia. That show, I lost the open by 1 point.
Oh, yeah, because I know you came close before. Yeah. You really did. And that's what I'm saying also out here, your mindset to just continue on. And do you think that kind of like letting go, like how you said you planned on really retiring, but then you just, something in you just made you have an off season where you're like, no, I'm just going to I love doing this, and this is what I'm going to do.
I think like it kind of took the pressure off myself. I'm like, so my goal was to retire, do a couple shows, do well in those, and just go out with a bang. And then the prep was just so easy. Everything, I'm like, God, it seems like everything's coming so easy, to the point where I thought something was wrong. I'm like, there's something not right, because prep is not sucking. So something can't be right. And one of the women in my gym, she's like, oh my God, you look so great. And in my mind, I'm thinking, you don't know what you're talking about. Because I felt good. And I'm like, I don't feel tired. I don't, the peak week, you start to feel it. And
Yeah.
I didn't feel it. I'm like, I felt fine. And I went into the show and, I felt fine. It was a good show. And I mean, it's always real good when you win, but.
Yeah. You're aging in reverse.
Yeah. Yeah. Benjamin Button. That's what they call me.
You are Benjamin.
Yes.
That's accurate. So Christopher Wilson says, do ladies consider age to be a blessing or hindrance pertaining to exercise in regards to you three? Lenda, why don't you lead this answer?
Mm-hmm. I definitely consider it to be a blessing, without question, because you really understand what it means by training smarter, not harder. You can't do some of the things you did in the past. You're smarter about, your off season and your weight and maintaining a certain weight so that you're within striking distance. So wisdom comes with age.
Yeah.
That was so well put. Yes.
That was.
I would actually, as you were talking, I was like, yes. I would say that when you're younger, you do a lot more. For me personally, you do a lot more stupid things. You think you're invincible. And as you get older, you realize that you're not. And you're a little bit more cautious, a little bit safer. You think about your knees and you think about your joints when it comes to what you're doing. You're not trying to press or ego lift in the gym anymore. You don't feel like you have anything to prove. That's where I'm at in my life. I just don't feel like I have anything to prove, right?
Yep.
All right.
I say that, but I do compete with people in the gym. They don't know I'm competing with them, but I do.
She's like, I do. She's like, no. She's like, I can know.
If they're doing 5, I'm doing 7. I'm like,
hey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Girl,
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? You
but
own
I'm
that.
so smart about it. I mean, I'm not going to try to lift some crazy weight that.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's.
Yeah. So I have this question. I have to find a way to open it up for discussion. So at one point I'd learned that today some people just wanted to turn pro because they want it for their social media and they want following. And I was like, really? Like, to me, that's just not possible because of all that it takes. I'm like, would that be pretty impressive if you can you're going to do all this work, all that it takes for figure and women's physique, and you look at that body and you can actually somehow like turn pro. So with that said, and I look at your history, Robyn, and you started out in the WNBF where you had to be drug tested. And I'm so impressed with athletes that compete in natural organizations first. And this is not about drugs or no drugs, but you must learn nutrition.
Yep.
Like, you're not you can't fix this, or do anything quick. So do you feel that starting out in the WNBF and also at your age, that was all like how much of a benefit?
Oh, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
100%. I think starting in the natural federation, and like you said, there's no shortcuts. So everything is number 1, nutrition. Number 2 is, the workouts. But it helped you learn the foundation. And I think that's what's lacking in a lot of society today is no one's learning foundation. Everything is like, everyone's trying to reinvent the wheel. It's like, learn the basics, learn how to do the squats, the bench press, before you start doing all these crazy, TikTok things.
Yes.
It's like, learn how to do a squat, learn how to do a bench press, a lunge, the basics. And then once you learn the foundation of that, then you move on and try something else. But yeah, these kids are coming in. I'm watching. Like, I don't say anything. a part of me wants to say something to, you know, some of the kids.
Yes.
Sometimes I will if I think they're gonna get hurt. I'd be like, look,
Yeah.
you know. But sometimes I look and I'm like, what are you doing?
Mm.
I'm like, where did you get that from? And then I'll look and see, oh, that's the trend on TikTok.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Yes.
okay. I'm like, no, please stop.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think too, to kind of piggyback off of what Lenda was saying, you know, you do really see, you know, you were talking about how you don't really care about social media because it's for you, you're in the game because you're an athlete, you are focused, you're determined, you want to succeed on that stage, and you don't really mind like all the extra chatter and all the extra noise outside. That's not really concerning you. But to Lenda's point, you know, there are a lot of people that they see you on stage, they see, you know, somebody on stage that they want to look like, and they're like, wow, it looks like if I do this, I might get a lot of followers. And then they realize maybe when they start doing the diet and the training, wow, this is going to take a lot of work. You know, what are your thoughts on the motivations that come with people wanting to achieve what you've achieved? Like, what have you experienced? Because I'm sure it must frustrate you since you don't seem to really care too much about social media.
Well, I think what bothers me is that people think it's a, you know, a quick thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, yeah, I had someone say, well, yeah, I could look like that too if that's all I did. I'm like, lady, I work a full-time job. I work in corporate America. I don't know what you're talking about. like, she thought I worked in the gym. So she thought, you know, that's all I did. And I'm like, no. And she's like, oh, well, where do you find the time? I'm like, you make the time. But, you know, I never want to put anyone like down and say, oh, you can't do this. But there are certain people. Bodybuilding is not for everyone.
Yeah.
You have to be a certain kind of person to do this. And there are some people who just don't have the dedication. They just don't. And it's like, and they rely on motivation. And I'm telling you, you can't rely on motivation because am I motivated every day? No. This morning that alarm went off. I hit that snooze button 3 times. like, I'm like 3 times, but you know, it's purposely set ahead because I know there might be that day where I want to hit that snooze button, you know? So is it motivation? No. I was like, oh, but it's dedication. I'm like, all right, you got to get up. You know what you got to do. And, you know, I'm like, you're going to the biggest stage in the world. Let's go.
I love that.
That's what I do. I get up. I try to make everything. So one tip I will, you know, I have a few tips. One is I lay out all my outfits for the week. It's all set. I got a spare bedroom. We call it Macy's. My husband calls it Macy's. I like to shop. I'm like, okay, I like to shop. You don't have
That's great.
Macy's, but so I lay out all my clothes are laid out for the week. Nice. I also lay out my gym clothes. I also lay out my clothes I'm going to do in the morning, my cardio clothes. So I have 3 sets all laid out. And that's one tip. Save so much time. The other tip is my proteins. I started doing this last fall, which probably is why my prep was so easy too. I buy all my protein in bulk.
Yeah.
And then I cook it all in bulk. And I bought a what do you call it? I was gonna call it a laminator, not a laminator.
Oh, where you seal the food?
Yeah. What's that? I can't think of the name.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And I do that in 1 pound, and then you can do it flat, so you can stack it. So it takes up like so much less room in your freezer. And then every couple days, because I can't eat food. Like I see people prep their food for the week. I can't eat it if it's been in the fridge more than 3 days. It's just not.
Yeah, me too. I'm with you on that. Yes, I know.
Right? I'm like, that's just. And my husband's like, ain't nothing wrong with this food. I'm like, well, you can eat it because I'm not eating it. So, you know, yeah, food is just too expensive to be thrown away. So I started doing that, and that saved. Like I spend I usually do it on like a Saturday or Sunday, and I'll spend a couple hours doing it, but it's done for like the month. And
Wow.
pull it out, vacuum sealed. That's what it was.
Yes,
And
yes.
Yeah.
I pull out enough for like 3 days. And
Yeah.
because everything else you can put, rice, throw in the rice cooker, takes no time. Veggies, I can throw them in the microwave. It's the proteins that take the most time. So that's a big time saver for me too. So
Yeah.
it's right there.
Yeah, that's a huge tip. That's
Yeah,
on
that's
point.
good.
No, actually, to really fast, I will say, when it comes to meal prep, that was always something that was hard for me because, having the carbs and the vegetables in the same container as the protein has always been difficult for me. And anytime I've ever done like meal preps and stuff, because, like that's why there's like companies, I think it's called like the Chicken Pound, giving them like a
Yeah.
shameless shout out. The Chicken Pound, they just sell just chicken and you can
Yeah.
add it to whatever. So there's companies that are doing that too.
Yeah.
We have another question. This is a good question for both of you ladies, actually. I would love to hear your opinions on this, but someone had asked, where do you see the women's physique division in 5 years? And maybe Lenda, you could start with this answer.
Well, I know I watched it when it was first introduced, and I love how we now have we have 7 divisions for the women now in total. So
Yeah.
I really do feel like because we have all the divisions, we have a variety of different physiques, that it's going to really maintain itself. It's going to be, you see women, we have women bodybuilders. So I know when I see a women's physique competitor or I see a female bodybuilder and she's in the women's physique division, I'm like, you're a female bodybuilder. And it's the same when you see one and you say, she'd be better off in the figure division. So I do feel like we're in a great place. And so 5 years from now, I feel like they can really maintain what we see now.
Nice. That makes sense. It's a well-established division now. So
yeah, it is. And it's been very consistent. Occasionally in shows like, the Tampa Pro or Atlanta Pro, you will see an athlete and I'll see her and she's what I think is a female bodybuilder, and the judges will give her the nod and she'll win and she'll get the qualification. But then I know she's going to have a long road at the Olympia because she's not really perfect for the women's physique division. So we'll let you give that answer and your thoughts on women's physique, Robyn, and then we're going to wrap it up.
I think the division, it's growing. I see at one point, I think all the women divisions seem to like kind of be fading. Like last year, the shows were really small, especially the big shows in the beginning. There was like 5 competitors because I was mad at myself for not being ready. I was like, you could have won that, damn it. Like there was your chance to go to right there, you blow it. But
hey, you won Tampa, so there we go.
But I was like, you know what? Do you really want to win a small show? No.
Exactly.
But but this year I'm like the numbers. I was like, okay, numbers are there, and they seem to be getting more and more. So Japan impressed me the most because to see 23, and that was some fierce competition up there too. Yep. I mean, we were all different sizes, which was just weird. Because you've seen some that were like, damn, she's huge, and then you've seen others. It's like, oh my gosh, she's so tiny. But we were all, there, and we all had our own things. Some were maybe smaller but shredded. Some were bigger but still, muscle. And it was women's physique has such a wide variety. It's gonna depend on who shows up. And who the judges are, because some judges prefer bigger over shredded and vice versa. So you just bring your best package. You have to be happy with what you have. So
that's well said. Well said. You just have to bring your best package and be happy. And that's it. Bottom line.
Because
Bottom
that's
line.
what I'm gonna bring to the O.
Not wait.
Okay, my
I
best.
know. I know. We're going to be with microphone in hand, and
I
I'll
can't
be
wait.
there watching, waiting to. I'm not going to miss that prejudging. I'm going to be there to see all the good stuff, because that's where it all
Oh yeah,
happens.
that's where the magic is.
That's where the magic is. Yeah. Well, again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Robyn, you deserve to be there on that stage, and we are all very happy that you did not retire.
Oh man, the industry is a better place because Robyn Mays is here for sure.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
No, thank you guys both for having me. It was a pleasure.
Yes.
Hopefully we can chat again at the O.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
We will, guys. We will definitely see you there. So again, to everybody out there for supporting the channel, if you have not yet, please subscribe to Olympia TV. And with that, guys, we're out.